The Church of England has found itself under a white-hot spotlight in recent days after the London chemical attack suspect Abdul Ezedi was revealed to have been a third-time lucky asylum seeker after a priest, or vicar, vouched for his claims of a conversion to Christianity. He was twice denied asylum before being allowed to stay, and it's also been revealed that he has a criminal record of sex offences. This isn't the first time a dangerous criminal claimed asylum on the basis of conversion to Christianity. Ahmad al-Swalamin blew himself up outside a Liverpool maternity unit on Remembrance Sunday in 2021. Why does the Church of England hierarchy seem to care so much about letting everyone and their dog into the country, but clearly don't have much concern for the safety of its residents? I also do have a little clip now, because I think this might come from the top, right? Of Archbishop Justin Welby talking about things like the Rwanda plan. So let's just play that.
Compassionate policy is one that recognises we have a share of global responsibility. It's not a solution, it's a mistake, and it will be a failure. When migrants arrive here, our system is grossly wasteful in both human and financial terms. Control has become cruelty. In the system for years, unable to build a life or to contribute to our society.
I'm joined now by the former editor of The Sun, Kelvin Mackenzie, and Church of England vicar and internet personality, Reverend Dan Beesley. Thank you very much. Kelvin, I'll start with you. Should we investigate the Church of England, do you think, when it comes to their potential role in our asylum seeker scandal?
Yes, I think in this case it's quite simple. I think the priest should come forward and explain to the public, who are now alarmed about their own families, etc., how he believed this particular person. What was it that was said to him that made him say, oh yes, you are no longer a Muslim, you are clearly committed to being a Christian? And further than that, how would this vicar or priest view the fact that friends of this Ezedi now say he was a good Muslim, and only a day before the attack had actually gone and bought half a sheep because it was a halal sheep? The truth about the matter is that he either pulled the wool over the priest's eyes, or the priest decided, I don't care whether you are Muslim or Christian, I'm going to allow you to stay. In this country, this is known as pray to stay among those in the migrant community.
Reverend, would you welcome an investigation, do you think, into the Church's potential role into our ongoing asylum seeker scandal?
We have to understand what's happening. You've got to remember, as parish priests, we're here on the ground. You know, there's immigration is happening, people are coming in, but we have local churches. We are called by God to serve in our local churches. We are called by God to help people who are coming towards us. And, you know, we're not trained in all this in one sense. There are people to help us. And so it's kind of difficult to understand the circumstances of what's happening in this situation with that local parish priest. You will get people coming in and trying it on, as they say. You know, and the priests, we got good hearts. We're there to help people. People are coming in need. And so what's happening in this situation, yes, it needs to be understood, because there's a lot of people will be looking at the Church of England and saying, what's going on? And we are there, like I said, to help people, especially people coming in need as they're approaching us in our parishes.
I just wonder, not necessarily talking about yourself there, Reverend, but I do wonder whether there is a bit of naivety at times. And Kelvin, when you hear those statements from the Archbishop Justin Welby there, what I hear there is that, you know, if you have someone who is an asylum seeker who presents themselves at one of your churches and you think that there is even the slightest possibility they might be deported or sent to Rwanda, that probably you should do everything you can to try and keep them in the country. And I wonder if that's what's happening.
Well, let's face the reality of it, that the under asylum rules, which the Home Office operate on, if you claim that you have a religion which says you will be persecuted back in your homeland, you basically have to stay. So I am not sure that this would just be a parish priest that decided whether this bloke Ezedi was in fact okay to come into our country. I suspect it might be a little bit higher up the line, but we need to know this. We've now seen a disaster happen in our nation, and it is time that we investigate the way this is done. Of course, we will be going around saying, I don't care how many there are, you're all God's people, come on down. Well, actually, this is one of the effects of it. He's not God's people, and he's not even Allah's people. He is a nasty, he is a suspect of a very serious violent occasion. And we don't know that there may not be more going forward. It's a shocker.
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, Reverend, if there are more cases like this, we have had the Liverpool bomber, we've got this guy, obviously he's a suspect at the moment, the police are currently looking for him. If more and more of these things emerge, all of a sudden the spotlight really, really does shine, even more than it already is now, on the role that the Church of England is playing in this. And I just wonder, is there not an irony here about the Church of England dwindling parish numbers, OK, sitting on billions of pounds worth of resources, but certain parishes are saying that they're skint, to the point where some people who work in the parishes even consider taking strike action. I mean, the last time I went to an Anglican church was a few months ago, and the talk there, the collection was for the local migrant hotel. There were people sitting in the back who were clearly from the Middle East. And I just wonder whether the church has got its priorities right here.
Churches have got their priorities right. The Church of England is a broad church. You can come to my church and see what my church is like there, Patrick. All churches are called to do different things. Different parish priests will live their calling out in different ways. As if the question about if there's more people out there, people will come and play the system in that sense. But there are many, many, many genuine people who are seeking asylum, and the churches are there to help people in those need. Like I said, at the local parish level, we're not asking those questions, and they're not going to tell us those. I'm seeking asylum. Please say that I'm a
but
Christian.
You're vouching for them, though, and I know this is not you personally, right? I really don't want to, end up dragging you into that side of it. But people from the church are vouching for these people. So I mean, there has to be an element of responsibility, does there not, from the likes of Justin Welby, Reverend?
If there are parish priests actually vouching and saying this in these circumstances, absolutely, there needs to be an investigation into that, because that's not what we do as Christians, and that isn't right. So if that's happening and it's been proven to happen, then absolutely an investigation needs to be had into those people.
Kelvin, I'm going to give you the final say on this now, and I want to know, what questions do you want to put to Justin Welby, to the church as a whole? What are the things that you think we, as the great British public, need answers on right now?
Well, the question I'd like to put to Ezedi, I would like to ask him, have you ever read the Bible? Have you ever prayed? At what point did you see Christianity as the way forward and not Islam, right? I'd like to know those questions, because somebody must have asked those questions prior to him being given the go-ahead. After all, the vicar or priest who didn't ask these questions will have known that he was already a convicted sex attacker. This happened after his second asylum was turned down. So he would have known that Newcastle Crown Court, he was convicted. So there were lots of questions that priest should have asked. Did he ask them, or did he just say, I tell you what, I don't really care, come on down, nothing will happen?
OK, all right. Look, both of you, thank you very, very much. I really, really do appreciate you both coming on, especially at this time on a Friday night. That is the former editor of The Sun there, Kelvin Mackenzie, and the Church of England vicar and internet personality, Reverend Dan Beesley. I've got a statement now from the Church of England. I'm not sure you're going to like this. It says, this is clearly a shocking and distressing incident, and our thoughts and prayers are with all of those affected by it. It is the role of the Home Office and not the Church to vet asylum seekers and judge the merits of their individual cases. Well, the comeback to that is, if the church is vouching for people and those people are using the church as part of their court cases to stay in the country, then is it not the role of the church as well?